What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Unconquerable Minds. I'm Jason Tracy.
And I'm Daryl Walker.
Today we're going to talk about time. Time is something that we all get, and no matter whether we're rich or poor, we're black or white, we're male or female, no matter what our circumstances are in life, we're all blessed or cursed with only 24 hours in a day.
Time has been a very reoccurring theme in my life lately. We had actually planned to talk about something else today, and I was compelled to talk about time. Earlier this week, I lost my grandmother. My grandmother was 93 years old, so she had a very full life. And but for me, several years ago, my grandmother moved to Texas, and I have been neglecting to go down and see my grandmother. And I had a conversation with one of my uncles over Thanksgiving, and he talked to me about that. And I had been planning to go down there, and because of circumstances, the me going there has been getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. So I made a decision that in early February I was going to go to Texas to see my grandmother. Well, I got a phone call on Sunday morning saying that my grandmother passed away. And it was tough, dealing with still the loss of my kids and to get that news, because my grandmother had a great hand in raising me. I was with her almost, half of my childhood. I was between my grandmother, my grandparents, and my mom. But for me, I realized with my kids, and I started to learn the lesson with them, and this really took it home for me. We never know how much time we're going to have. Our time is so limited. Tomorrow isn't promised. Even the rest of today isn't promised. And we have plans to do things, and we postpone them. I do. I postpone a lot of things that I'm supposed to do and say, well, I'll do it later. And I think many people fall under that same umbrella. But we don't know how much time we have, and that time can run out on us. For me, it ran out. I didn't get to see my grandmother. I didn't get to talk to my grandmother. I didn't get to kiss her or do any of those things with her, and that was really hard for me.
And I can speak for all of us. I know this has happened to me too. We get so wrapped up in our lives and things that are going on, and sometimes we're just responding to the circumstances, and we don't carve out that time to go and visit the people that we need to, the loved ones, and etc. And I know that's happened to me. You get wrapped up in a career, and you're driving, and the next thing you know, you look up and you haven't seen your mom in a long time, or you're neglecting relationships. My grandma passed away in the summer, and she was also a big part of my life and raising me, and I knew she was sick, and we spent a lot of time, but you always think, could I spend more time?
Absolutely.
Because when she's gone, she's gone.
Absolutely. And it's a reoccurring thing in all of our lives. And time is so essential. I believe time is our most valued asset. It's not money. I believe it's time. And when we put off doing the things that we're supposed to do, oftentimes we end up with a lot of regrets.
Sometimes it's the hardest part about loss is thinking of all the times that you didn't go and see that person, thinking, wishing that you had some more time.
I think about scripture I've read in the Bible, and you'll see people living 900 plus years, and if I had the chance to ask that question, why did we get such a short end of the stick? I mean, 900 years. Imagine the things you could do and the things you could accomplish, but we don't have that kind of time, and it's important to do the things, whether it's a letter that we're planning to write, or somebody that we want to sit down with, a conversation that we need to have, we don't have a unlimited amount of time to do those things.
You really hit a huge point. I don't know, this is one of my big mantras in life, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at all, but I believe as humans, it's our job, it's the meaning of life to constantly get better. I call it random acts of kindness. Have you ever had something happen, or something pop up in your head and say, I should call this person, or you see concert tickets, you know one of your friends really loves this person, and you're like, oh, I should get those concert tickets, and we should go out and do this. So you just think of different nice things to do for people, send them a card, and then we don't do it. And then time passes, and it's now 3 weeks, and now it's not appropriate to do it anymore, so you just kind of throw that idea out the window. You know, you going to visit your grandma, for example, in February, you have this plan to do, you know, you're gonna go see your grandma, and then the time, you know, we ran out of time.
Yeah, and one of the biggest lessons for me is it's not how much time we have, but it's what we do with the time that we have. You know, my daughter was 3 years old, my son was 2 years old, and my daughter did a lot while she was here, and for me, her legacy will continue on. I've learned so many lessons from her and my son, and I can continue to, and that's a part of my ongoing journey. So you know, it's not about necessarily how much time we have, but what we do with that time. And to be a good stewards of our time is to not postpone the things that we want to do, that we should do. It's to just do.
Just do. Again, we get one life. You couldn't have said that any better. You know, go and have that lunch with your mom. Go and take your wife out to dinner, or your husband. You know, like, spend that time. You ever have this? You get together at a family event, or maybe a funeral, and you're talking with people, family members you haven't seen in a long time, or you see a friend that was a really good friend and you haven't seen him in a long time because life gets busy, and you say, we should get together. And not we should get together, and you know that neither of you really mean it, but you wholeheartedly really would like to get together with this person because they've had a big part of your life at some point. And then you never do it because we didn't schedule it. And so this is a good practice for everybody, is when you say that, don't just say it and then move on, because life happens, and all of a sudden 4 weeks pass, a month passes, all of a sudden it's 2019, you know, a year passes, and you run into that person again, and they said, let's not get together at our next funeral, and what happens? You show up at a funeral, it's the next time you saw that person.
Yeah.
When you say, we should get together, pull out your calendar. Let's schedule this. Let's get it down. Because if you can schedule it, and you can make it happen. You know, so that's a good best practice that I've started utilizing. Again, I'm not perfect, but it's something that's helped me. When someone says we should get together, and we wholeheartedly really want to get together, let's work it out right now, as opposed to parting ways and just forgetting.
Time, it affects every aspect of our life. Business-wise, the goals that we have, the things that we want to accomplish. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you plan to pursue a different career. Whatever it is that you plan on doing, we don't have an unlimited amount of time. The time is now, because tomorrow isn't promised. We don't know if we're going to wake up. We don't even know if we're going to be able to go to sleep. We don't know what's going to happen from here to home.
Just go out there and make it happen. Again, you know, we left you a challenge last week to go out there and ask yourself more powerful questions, you know, to empower yourselves. This week, it's about go out there and spend the time, make the time for the people in your life that you want to be around. Don't let other things happen. You know, when you're on your deathbed and you're sitting there wishing, you're not going to say, man, I wish I would have worked that extra hour. You know, like you're going to want to have spent that time with your grandma, with your mom, with your wife, with your kids, you know, and we all got to work. Hey, and sometimes it's even making time to become better at our jobs, in our profession. It's all about managing that time and just making it happen.
Absolutely. This is Unconquerable Minds.
I'm Jason Tracy.
And I'm Daryl Walker.
Have a great week, everyone.
Take care.